Good evening, everyone. The Prime Minister is here. Let's please stand to welcome him. Is that the fan club outside? Good evening. Please remain standing for the national anthem. You may be seated. Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. I see an empty seat here for Senator Aubin Hill. I imagine he's on his way. Ambassador Deshant Savaria, founder and CEO of the Amber Group. Michael McNaughton, President of UTech Technology, of the University of Technology, Jamaica. Aldrich McNabb, Pro-Chancellor of UTech. Did I make a mistake? I think I did. I definitely did make a mistake. Michael McNaughton, Managing Director of Amber Group. Aldrich McNabb, Pro-Chancellor of UTech, and Dr. Kevin Brown, our star, President of the University of Technology, Jamaica. No, tell me I make a mistake. Stand up there and let me look like a fool, but that's okay. We shall redeem ourselves this evening. Mr. Howard Mitchell, business mogul and entrepreneur, former head of the PSOJ as well. We also have here Mr. Christopher Zaka, president and CEO of Sagicor Group Jamaica. Members of the business community, members of UTEC, Jamaica's council, and members of faculty and staff of the university, members of the press, friends, well-wishers, esteemed friends, welcome to the inaugural Amber UTEC Launchpad launch ceremony. Woo! What an amazing and exciting day it is. My name is Kalila Reynolds, and I'm deeply honored to be your host on such a pivotal occasion because this event marks not just the unveiling of a groundbreaking initiative, but also the dawn of a transformative era of innovation and opportunity all across Jamaica. So as we set forth on this exciting venture together, it's crucial to acknowledge the transformative potential that endeavors like this hold for the trajectory of our nation. As you heard the anthem just now, I saw some of you looking at the screen and feeling proud, looking at the images, because what lies before us is so important and so pivotal. Entrepreneurship is the lifeblood of our nation, isn't it, Dushyant? As we get our young people starting businesses, getting Mr. Zaka to fund the businesses, getting the launch pad off the ground, getting the government support from the Prime Minister, OPM, and the rest of the government. This is what it is all about. So allow me to extend my heartfelt admiration to the Amber Group and to UTEC for their foresight and steadfast dedication to this cause. When Dushyant called me about this, about 4 months ago, probably like October, November last year, I said, yes, I'm on board, count me in. This is exciting. I love to see initiatives like this that help our people rise and innovate and create wealth, poverty to prosperity, right? For our nation. Let's get this money, of course. So without any further ado, let me introduce our first speaker of the evening, President of UTEC, Dr. Kevin Brown. But before he comes up, I need to tell you a little bit about this person, about Dr. Brown. He's UTEC's 5th president, and he's fairly new on the job, just got the job September 11, 2023, so just a few months in. But he is no stranger at all to academia. In fact, he's been a trailblazer in academia and the aerospace industry for 18 years. And when I say aerospace, I'm talking about most recently him being the technology project lead for civil aerospace technology and future programs at Rolls-Royce. All right? Talk about bright, right? It's bright people things. And when I say academia, he's authored and won multi-million pound, not dollars, not euro, pound sterling research grant proposals, not even JMD pound. And he's also published 22 peer-reviewed journal articles and conference papers. But wait, there's more. He's also an inventor with patents in the United States and Britain, and an entrepreneur and co-founder of a startup company in telecommunications. So who better to take UTEC, Jamaica, and the Amber Launchpad to the moon? Please welcome Dr. Kevin Brown, presenting on education's role in nurturing entrepreneurial talent.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, Mrs. Kalila Reynolds, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, Mr. Aldrich Ali McNabb, our Pro-Chancellor, Ambassador Dushyant Savadia, founder and CEO of the Amber Group, and someone I can call a friend now, I think. We've had many conversations, so I think I qualify as friend, right? Other members of the Amber Group management team who have become like family. Again, we've had so many meetings planning this awesome project. Mr. Christopher Zaka, President and CEO of Sagicor Group, Jamaica Limited. Mr. Howard Mitchell, business titan and entrepreneur. Members of the UTEC Council. I know we have here Honorable Shirley Tyndale and other members of the UTEC Council, Professor Charmaine Barrett, Acting Deputy President, Ms. Marion Brown, Vice President and Registrar, and I also see my other Vice President and Chief of Information Technology here as well. Other Vice Presidents, other members of the senior leadership team, deans, members of the academic and administrative staff, other special invited guests from across the business and tertiary education fraternities, members of the media. Good evening, everyone. I am so delighted to welcome you here for this landmark occasion on this official launch of the AMBER UTEC Launchpad program. Now, as you've heard, the mantra and objective of this partnership between our university and the global software powerhouse, the AMBER Group, is to facilitate the ambitious goal of establishing 100 technology-based startups in 1,000 days. Only Ambassador Savadia could have dreamt that up, right? So this philanthropic collaborative program between AMBER and UTEC is about to usher in a groundbreaking transformation to the technology-based startup entrepreneurial ecosystem in Jamaica. This is a game-changing initiative that's been conceptualized by Ambassador Savadia, who undoubtedly is one of Jamaica's preeminent entrepreneurs with the AMBER Group. And he is determined to work with UTEC to transform how we support technology startups in Jamaica. Through this program, we are going to finance these startups, we're going to train them, we are going to give them access to software and other resources. So today's occasion demonstrates what is possible when academia, the private sector, and the government come together and partner to grow and develop our country. The AMBER UTEC Launchpad signals a significant and meaningful opportunity for Jamaican citizens of all ages and socioeconomic backgrounds, including tertiary students, to realize their dreams of establishing thriving businesses. So this program is going to offer an awesome opportunity like no other to ignite tech-focused business ideas that are relevant to Jamaica's development agenda and is well poised to add significant value by creating jobs and ultimately stimulating economic growth. So in this context, UTEC Jamaica is pleased to be supporting this Launchpad initiative, which is well aligned with our mission. What is the mission of UTEC? Well, our mission is clear. Our mission is to positively impact Jamaica, the wider Caribbean, and elsewhere through high-quality learning opportunities, research, and value-added solutions to government, industry, and communities. So during this ceremony, AMBER and UTEC will solidify our partnership with the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding, an MOU. As part of this collaboration, UTEC, through our Technology Innovation Center, the TIC, will provide incubation services to the selected startup businesses in the Launchpad program. Now, as most persons in this audience would be aware, since 2002, UTEC, through our TIC, our Technology Innovation Center, has been making our mark on the Jamaican economy by supporting and strengthening the capacity of startups. We have a long and proud history of being an entrepreneurial university. The business incubator infrastructure here at UTEC started with the former CAST. Anybody remember CAST? CAST Entrepreneurial Extension Center, which was directed and nurtured by our very own Mrs. Sandra Glasgow, Sandra Glasgow, for over 17 years. And she's in the crowd with us, and I'm really so pleased that you could join us today, Sandra. Welcome back to UTEC. It all started with you in that Entrepreneurial Extension Center. And we have been making progress ever since. We had a grant from CEDA, from the Canadian Development Agency, International Development Agency. And from that grant, we have built out an entrepreneurial infrastructure at UTEC through that extension center. And from that humble beginning, we now have the Technology Innovation Center, or TIC, which is one of the first and largest business incubators in the English-speaking Caribbean. So the TIC is a specialized unit at the university. It sits within the Joan Duncan School of Entrepreneurship, Ethics and Leadership, J.D. Seal, in our College of Business Management, and holds the distinction, as I said, of being the first business incubator in the English-speaking Caribbean. I'm repeating it because I want to emphasize the point. And here at the TIC, we assist startups, we provide the training, and what we're trying to do is to make them succeed. Anybody ever try to start up before? What's the success rate? It's fairly low, right? So we are giving them a fighting chance. That's the aim, right? We want to give them a fighting chance to succeed. And clients of the TIC have benefited from the reduced startup costs that we provide, from the training. We have nurtured over 300 client businesses in our residential and virtual program. 300. And I'm standing there, I'm thinking, best kept secret, right? We need to shout more about what UTEC is doing. Prime Minister, I'm glad you're here, because UTEC has been adding value to Jamaica for so many years, and maybe we've been so humble, right? So humble about it. So I'm pleased to note that graduate businesses of the TIC have gone on to, of course, have very impactful businesses. They have received grants in both cash and equity of over $60 million. And in addition to gaining investment in their businesses, some of these companies have been recipients of numerous local and international awards. Prime Minister, many of these companies who have been incubated right here at UTEC have won your award, Prime Minister, for your Youth Award for Excellence in Entrepreneurship over the years. So you may recall, Prime Minister, E-Media Interactive, right? You may also recall Pre-Labs as well, and many others who you have graced with your Youth Award for Excellence in Entrepreneurship. They were incubated right here, Prime Minister. So UTEC is committed. We are committed to the continued successful outcomes of these small and medium-sized businesses through our TIC. And we are here now to work with the Amber Group to supercharge the startup economy in Jamaica. We have several other success stories. I'll just mention one before I end. And this is a recent graduate of ours, Rayvon Stewart, who, after participating in our annual UTEC business model competition, which seeks to stimulate entrepreneurship amongst our very own students, he took his business idea, which he developed during COVID, which was a business around a technology that would be used to detect bacteria left on doorknobs. The innovation was called Zermacell. So Zermacell was recognized internationally in fighting against the COVID-19 virus. And in July last year, Zermacell Supplies Limited took a significant step towards protecting this innovation by applying for a world intellectual property patent, right? So we are very proud of what we're achieving at UTEC. And maybe, as I said before, we don't speak enough as an institution about what we're doing for young people, for business, for our economy. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the entrepreneurship infrastructure here is alive and well at UTEC and will certainly be further strengthened through this new partnership. So in closing, I want to warmly welcome you again to the launch event, and you're in for a treat. And I want to also thank Amber Group once again on behalf of the UTEC family for coming to the right place. Together, we are going to deliver something special for Jamaica. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. It certainly seems like a match made in heaven. Amber and UTech unite, right? So our next speaker is somebody that you may recognize from Mount Everest, where he carved the name of Jamaica. Very recently was all in the headlines. I'm talking, of course, about Ambassador Deshant Savaria, founder and CEO of the Amber Group. He literally climbed the world's highest mountain. You know that song? I will cross an ocean for you. He's climbing a mountain for Jamaica, literally, and writing the name on the top. And now we have another mountain to climb with the launch of the UTech Amber UTech launch pad. Now, before I invite him on the stage, I want to take a moment of silence as well to observe the passing of his dear mother just very recently. So let's just observe a moment of silence. Thank you. So, Deshant, on behalf of the people of Jamaica, myself, everyone in this room, we extend our sincerest condolences and deepest gratitude that you were able to make it here despite this personal tragedy. So this selflessness and sacrifice don't go unnoticed. We're definitely honored to have you here today. And after I riled up your emotions, I'm gonna ask you to come on the stage. I know what it's like, but I know that this is a very special and important moment for you. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the iconic Deshant Savaria.
I'm taller. The Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, Senator Honorable Aubin Hill, Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Michael McNaughton, Managing Director of Amber Group, Dr. Kevin Brown, President, University of Technology, Jamaica, Mr. Howard Mitchell, business mogul and entrepreneur, former head of PSOJ, Mr. Christopher Zaka, President and CEO, Sagicor Group Limited, members of business community, members of UTech, Jamaica's Council, and members of faculty and staff of the university, members of friends, members of the press, and ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm sure you had lunch, right? Good evening. Great, that sounds like you had lunch. Great, first of all, thank you for being here this evening. This evening is very, very special to me personally, and thank you for honoring my mother too. She passed away this weekend. It was very tough to journey back to Jamaica, but I just thought that my pain cannot be bigger than the gain Jamaica will get from this launch. And I'm here. And thank you for being here to celebrate this event with me. I want to start by giving you a little background history. It was about in September, October, I met the Prime Minister and I gave him this idea of Amber Launchpad only. And I said, Prime Minister, here's the presentation, here's how I want to do it, here's the plan behind what I want to do. And he, as usual, has been very supportive. You might have known the Amber Heart Academy was also, through his absolute intervention, it moved quite fast and we launched the Amber Heart Academy a couple of years ago, which now has graduated nearly 200 students and is now currently having 500 odd students studying coding in these at the Stony Hill campus of Heart. And similarly, back in October, I reached out to the Prime Minister because I like to run the ideas by him first because he's got that vision, he knows what he can do with it. And as soon as I pitched the whole idea, this is what I would like to do as Amber, he said, Deshant, this is UTech. You need to do this with UTech. UTech has all the infrastructure, has the capability to give training, and has all the infrastructure required to support you to make this a big success. And then through his office's introduction, we met Dr. Kevin Brown, and I've always known government is usually slower to respond to things, but I tell you, in both of my cases, it was in lightning speed. In 4 months' time, we are here, launching the Amber UTech Launchpad. And my personal reason to start Amber UTech Launchpad was very simple. I was a startup 8 years ago. I still believe I'm a startup. I don't want to change those boots ever. because it's keeping me on the go all the time. Amber Group started back in 2015. In 8 years' time, we now operate in 100 countries all over the world. We have users and distributors all over the world in 8 years of span. And we lined up 12 companies under the group already, one by one. And the way we operated is we always focused on where is the requirement, where is the gap, where is what we need to do. And not only that we focused simply on having a great product and have brilliant marketing abilities all over the world, we also made sure that we qualify with the right standards of processes and procedures. So we are a ISO 9001, we are a ISO 27001, we are a PCI compliant company. We did everything that was required to make sure that the world can embrace Jamaica fully without a doubt or a question. That we know how to build software and we know how to get things done. My first business was Amber Connect, vehicle tracking fleet management. This is where we started 8 years ago. And I still remember funny stories. It was a 200 square feet office that we started Amber Group with 8 years ago from now. In that 200 square feet office, I had 3 staff and all of the 3 of us sitting on the floor and folding boxes. And I still remember when customers, we got the first 100 customers who trusted us to put our trackers in their cars, and they would call middle of the night if the vehicle was stolen or there was some issue with the app. And my colleague, Maria, at that time, we used to share an apartment. So she would receive the call middle of the night, good evening, Amber Connect, how can I help you? And they would say, we would like to speak to your technical support. Please stay online, we'll connect you. And she'll come banging my door in the next room. And I will take that call and said, good evening, this is Amber Connect, how can I help you? This is how we started the journey of Amber Connect. I cleaned the floors. If you, we might show you later. I painted the first 200 square feet office in Haining Road by myself because I didn't have money to hire somebody to paint the wall. I've gone through everything one can think of. That is, we know how to build beautiful software. Then we went into Amber Innovations, which was my next business. Amber Innovations was a software development house, and now in 7 years' time since inception of this business, we are now over 1,000 software developers in-house on our payroll. All over the world, between Jamaica, South Africa, India, Dubai, everywhere, in all our offices. And we build phenomenal software for so many large banks, so many large companies all over the world. Have you used the JPS app in Jamaica? That was built by us. I'm very proud. I mean, look at the new Palace Amusement app that was also built by us. And apart from that, we do a lot work with banks and stuff like that. So that was our second business. We then moved on to the third one, which was Amber Fuels. Imagine this technology where you drive in, fill gas, and leave. And your card is automatically charged. Your app has your invoice, everything. That's the tech we built. And we're now working with a lot of large petroleum companies around the world, supplying them this technology. And after that, we built Amber Pay. See, there is an ecosystem that we started building one after another. So when we built Amber Fuels, we knew we needed a payment solution on top of it. So over time, we built one of the most sophisticated payment platforms in Jamaica now, and it is launched in South Africa and so many other countries. We built one of the most comprehensive digital wallet app that we are now supplying to banks, so we don't roll out ourselves. We are back end of a lot of banks across the world. And also on top of that, once we built the payment platform, we realized, okay, we also need rewards. So then we built Amber Rewards. It's a whole cut, copy, paste software that you can launch a rewards program for your own business in 24 hours. It's just building pieces of technology on top of each other, which became businesses by themselves. Don't ask why this, and even I can't answer. The only reason this, because I'm a pilot. I'm a licensed pilot for Jamaica. I've got a pilot license from South Africa. And being a pilot, it was my childhood dream. You might not know, when I was 4 years old, I got TB and something happened and there's a medicine reaction. I lost my speech. I couldn't speak a word till the age of 16. Between 16 to 20, I was stammering so much that it will take me 1 minute to say one sentence. And I did enroll when I was 18 at the flying school when I was 4 years old. Since then, I used to watch the sky and wanted to fly planes. But at the age of 18, when I enrolled into the flying school, I couldn't pass the radio exam. And thankfully, I didn't pass. At least I could come to Jamaica and be here with you all. So, and I realized that day that my speech, I couldn't speak, and that is why I couldn't do it. And that little seed remained in my heart. And 3 years ago, I went and got my license, and I speak to international traffic now all over the world when I fly. But also, I saw a gap in the tourism aviation in Jamaica. There is a big, big tourism market in Jamaica, and we're not giving a 3D experience to our visitors yet. And after a lot of interventions from a lot of people, after 2 years of struggle and hard work, we now have acquired 5 aircraft. They're all coming to Jamaica. A few of them are already here. And we also, only yesterday, received our final confirmation from the Negril Airport to get our hangar built. And the business should be off the ground this year in the next 4 or 5 months at the most. And we're moving ahead very fast. So on the top, you see that is a microlight. It's very safe. It flies on top of the beaches, 1,000 feet. And you get the most amazing experience of Jamaica from the top. And we are also into a jet share program that is also coming right behind it. And after aviation, we went into CyberEye. We realized we are a big software house. We needed our own cybersecurity company. We bought out a cybersecurity company in US that made us very strong, and the posture that we could give to our customers also changed with this. So we do a lot of third-party cybersecurity. Then we went into Amber IoT. So it's another company we bought in South Africa. See, sometimes I can't build all the businesses myself. It's better to buy them out and change them into Amber. And these are all owned by the Jamaican headquartered Amber Group. All these businesses are owned by the Jamaican entity, which is the Amber Group. The Amber IoT, we realized we need to build hardware. We can't just keep building software. We also need different hardware for different use cases. Especially last year, we also acquired our license, Prime Minister, for rolling out our own 0G network in Jamaica from the Ministry of Science and Technology. So we are rolling out our own IoT data network, which is for things, not for phone calls, but only to communicate data from small, like vehicle trackers and asset management. Can you imagine? This network will give up to 100 kilometers of range into the sea for a fisherman to press a panic button, and we know to send the Coast Guard for rescue. It's a whole different level, and it could be the biggest backup for natural disasters because it doesn't need a lot of electricity and all of those. It's a low power network. After that, we started Amber Fund Me. It's a crowdfunding platform that we give it to banks. After that, we also recently, last year, took significant shares in Nationwide News Network to digitalize the media. Also, in March or April latest, we are launching 50 radios, 50 radio stations in a single app. And we received all our licensings already, so that's on its way. Our humanitarian outreach, I'm sure most of you are familiar with the Amber Heart Academy. It's done phenomenal work over the last few years to educate so many youngsters on the most developing prospect for jobs, which is coding. And then we started coding in schools. And then, of course, you would remember during the pandemic, we built a massive piece of software for Jamaica, but not what many people know, that after we launched it in Jamaica and used it in Jamaica and opened our doors and brought back nearly 30,000 stranded citizens who couldn't come back home. And the technology allowed them to come in, and we could distribute them correctly, and we knew where they were, and we could manage the pandemic very well. But after Jamaica, 6, 7 other countries actually used our platform as well, which is a big success for Jamaica, that our tech was used across the whole of the Caribbean. So this is pretty much around the Amber Group. And why I shared with all of you what we did is because this is the journey that we've been through. To start a startup in 200 square feet with very little money and nobody trusting, to becoming one of the largest technology conglomerate of Jamaica now and serving 100 countries out of Jamaica. So I've gone through the startup journey. I know how difficult it is. I still remember the first time I went to an investor, Prime Minister in Jamaica in 2016. They said, fantastic product, well done, but I need you to step down as a CEO. And we will run the business because we know the Jamaica market. I just turned around and I left. That if you take the heart out of the body, then there is no machinery left to use. And that is what allowed us to kind of look at the financial struggles I went through. trying to find money every time you run out of money and you need a little more money to pay just the next bill so that another customer can pay you some money and then you can get going. I've also gone through every single pressure that you can think of to handle a business at that time, to grow it myself. But over time, what I realized end of the day, thinking big, going global, building products that solve customer pain points, visually appealing and affordable solutions, that is the secret of Amber Group. That is why we got where we got, because we don't stop innovating. I still remember a few years ago, I had one, by the way, we are now, Amber Group has no external investors. The entire group is owned 100% by me now. We took out one minority in one of the businesses, and that was it. Because the struggle always remain, because not everybody understands your passion. And that is what brought us to thinking about UTech Launchpad, is because I don't want others to suffer what I went through. How hard it was to raise a business in Jamaica. It is difficult. You go to a bank, they might almost ask for your blood sample too before you get a penny. It's hard, it's real. It is real, it's a pain point, right? But then we also know that what makes success is innovations. Why Amber grew so fast? Because we built some very good applications and we used the right marketing techniques all around the world. I don't know if you're aware, but the Global Innovation Index currently ranks Jamaica 78 out of 132. We are that far behind when it comes to innovations as a country. And that is why our motivation behind this was to underscore our commitment for nurturing entrepreneurship and driving economic development. And this public-private partnership with UTech, government, and Amber together is what we really wanted to move to the next level. So what does UTech, I mean, you've heard Amber UTech Launchpad too many times, but what does it involve? What it involves is it's a comprehensive support system, end-to-end development, and founder protection for any founder who wants to work with us under the Amber UTech umbrella. So what do we provide to the founders? One, we provide a whole end-to-end development of their product. You will never have to go beg for money to finish your product and roll it out into the market, ever. So that was the first big milestone we wanted to conquer. Because I have gone through that. I ran out of funding halfway. There was a friend of mine who loaned me some money, which is the usual startup case. I ran out of that funding, and then I said, who do I scratch my head and go beg for more? And no one is going to give you the money because they don't trust you. There was one friend of mine who gave me $12,000 in 2016 and took it back the next day. Because he realized that, what if I don't get it back? And $12,000 is a very rich man. But this is the reality of our life. So we decided we will not launch an incubator where you need to go beg for money every single milestone. How about, with such an army of software developers we have, how about we build everything you need to build as part of our contribution? Second, we provide a full founder protection also. That means there will be a capped equity. So that also means you'll always remain the majority shareholder of this business, no matter what I need to spend to get your business into 100 countries. It's a complete concept to company support, and we provide global sales and marketing support because we already built the rails to go into the whole world from here. And all we are doing is putting more bags on that, what do you call it? Carousel, right? And then where UTech's contribution made it absolutely sticky is UTech is going to provide the office infrastructure to all these startups. They will be receiving full support in terms of office space, electricity, internet, and proper training at the same time. So it'll be a one-year project. In 1 year, our intention is that we take you from training to, while we're parallelly building your product, and we launch you out into the whole world through our marketing channel. Amber is already serving more than millions of customers all over the world directly, and hundreds and thousands in Jamaica too. So we already have the whole ecosystem to launch them out into the world. And the next steps from here for Amber Launchpad, the applications will be open from today till April 6th. So for 1 month, you will go to the My Amber Group website, you click on the link, you go upload your concept, you upload what you want to build, and there are series of questions you will answer, and you will go into a shortlisting process. Once the shortlisting process is over, the results will be announced on 25th of April, where we will start with season 1. I'm going to do it like Shark Tank. And we are also televising the whole event, every single thing. So we're going to do 10 seasons in 3 years to launch 100 startups. And between May and June, the TV pitching will happen. But before they come on the TV show to pitch their product, we will train them, we'll polish them, we will make sure they know how to deliver the message. Because once, you can build a beautiful design on a paper as an architect, but if you can't go sell it and you can't convince the other person that this is the best thing after sliced bread, it's useless. So we also need to polish them, hone them a little bit to how to make pitches, how to understand business, and be ready for questions that the judges will ask from the business community. And finally, we will take the first 10 startups from season 1 and bring them into UTech and roll them out in the next 1 year or so. But there'll be one season after another. We intend to do 10 seasons back to back in 3 years. That is why we say 100 startups in 1,000 days. Wouldn't it be amazing? 100 new businesses in Jamaica. So I want to thank UTech for allowing us, supporting us. I also want to invite the business community, especially since Chris is here. Please support us in the advertisements that we need to sponsor the TV shows. It's very expensive. But we want to give whole of Jamaica to become a part of the selection process also. So there will be voting systems and all of those things. So people can vote which entrepreneur they like, which concept they like, and we will take it from there. And apart from that, we invite all the aspiring entrepreneurs, investors, industry professionals to get involved with the Amber UTech Launchpad as participants, as mentors or supporters. And I want to just conclude by saying that we have a vision for the future of Jamaica's technology ecosystem, envisioning a thriving community of innovators, creators, and change makers, driving positive change and prosperity for all. Thank you.
All I have to say is, wow. Who's excited? Yes, that is amazingly exciting. And I'm going to be glued in to watching all 10 seasons because I'm going to be voting. You need a guest judge? I'll be a volunteer for whatever you need me for, because this is an incredible opportunity. I love to see the progress that we're making and the support for entrepreneurs, and most importantly, the financial support. Because I've spoken to probably hundreds of entrepreneurs by now, and the number one problem, they always tell me, the number one hurdle is getting the funding. Where do you get the money to launch this brilliant idea that I have? Where do I get the money to do the amazing things that I want to do for the country? And Amber UTech Launchpad solves that problem. So who's ready for some music? Yes. So you may know UTech for its focus on technology, as the name implies, also business. You may know them for sports as well. But UTech is also the home of some brilliant artists, including a talented saxophonist by the name of Christian Jones. Is Mr. Jones here? All right, let's welcome Christian Jones. He's going to be performing. Here he is. Heal the World. No, We Are the World by Michael Jackson. Thank you, Christian. See, I was right the first time. It was Heal the World. My intuition kicked in. So for those of you watching online, if you're an entrepreneur, I hope you heard what Dushyant said, Ambassador Savadia said. Go to myambergroup.com because applications open today for the Amber UTech Launchpad, and you have until April 6th to apply. Spread the word. Tell all your entrepreneur friends, anybody who has an idea, anybody you know who needs some funding, who needs it, send them the link, myambergroup.com. Now, let me introduce our next speaker. I'm going to give you some hints, and let me see who can guess who this person is, because I have a lot of notes here. See who can guess. He's a prominent Jamaican business leader with a wealth of business and management experience in both the public and private sectors, spanning over 3 decades. All right, so that gives you an age group already, right? He's highly respected in the private sector, where he's held senior executive positions at Dano and Getty's Red Stripe, the ATL Sandoz Group, Air Jamaica. Narrowing it down yet? Yeah. I hear some people saying Chris. Let's see if it's him. He's also served as president of the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica. Still meeting the criteria? You still think it's Chris? And in 2016, he received the Jamaica Observer Lifetime Achievement Award for Business. Just last year, he also got the Huey Mona School of Business Management's Outstanding Business Leader. Check all the boxes? Is it him? You stand by that? Yes, absolutely. You are correct. Our next speaker is Mr. Christopher Zaka.
Thank you, Kalilo. You didn't have to let everybody know how old I am. Most Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Senator and Minister, Ambassador, President, Vice Chancellor, good friend sometimes, all other protocols observed. Thanks very much for having me at this event as we launch this initiative aimed at propelling Jamaica into the forefront of technological innovation for startups. Today, I am particularly hopeful about the Amber UTech Launchpad, as it is my wish that we continue to modernize and digitally transform our nation as we also reshape Jamaica's technology landscape and provide essential support financing for startups and SMEs. I want to confirm that we do have the blood type of most people, but it's because of our health insurance business, not our bank. We don't collect that information at the bank. The Amber UTech Launchpad is important for us at Sagicor, as we know and appreciate the fact that the development of small and medium enterprise businesses plays an integral role in our economy and generates thousands and thousands of jobs for Jamaicans. Last year, in fact, Sagicor was visited by the president of the World Bank, Ajay Banga. Prime Minister, you kept me away from that meeting. I was with you, if you recall, and I gave that up. So, but I think it was more important that I met with you. So President Banga of the World Bank lauded our Sagicor Business Resource Center while visiting our center, and the World Bank has issued several reports within the last 15 years stating that the success and prosperity of third world and developing nations rest on supporting small business development, financially, with business development acumen, and with technology-based business solutions. Sound familiar to what you just said. At Sagicor, we have made a huge investment in providing support for SME clients, and across our group, we have created customized SME products, grants, labs, and have provided training across the island. The Sagicor Innovation Lab here at UTech, and I commend you for following us in terms of supporting UTech and the young people of Jamaica. And I urge other businesses and visionary leaders such as yourself to join with us to further invest in our youth and to support UTech and other universities in Jamaica. Our lab here at UTech draws inspiration from internationally recognized models and is based on creating a collaborative framework between us and UTech to explore emerging technologies. It is out of this collaboration that the Sagicor Innovation Lab was born, and this partnership is not only a bridge between corporate and academic spheres, but will play an important role in modernizing our education system. The Innovation Lab employs cloud computing and the mean technology development stack, fostering student teams working on diverse projects in extended reality, artificial intelligence, digital payments, and biometrics. The Agile methodology guides their project implementation with a collaborative university space. Additionally, it sounds to me that there may be some candidates for your launchpad in this group. Additionally, we have hosted 4 annual innovation challenges providing students with a platform to showcase ideas to corporate execs. Sounds again familiar. Launched the Sagicor Plus project, which introduced facial recognition technology to the pensions industry, the first of its kind in the Caribbean. Yes, I think that's worth a clap. We have had discussions with one of your advisors about helping the NIS to adopt this technology to proof of life for pensioners. A campus digital wallet featuring WhatsApp and AI integration will be piloted at the student union in the near future. And a paid internship program offers UTech students real-world experience by working on our Sagicor team projects. Overall, we have invested over $100 million over the last 5 years in this program. You're welcome, sir. At Sagicor, we imagine a future where technology transforms classrooms into dynamic learning environments, where students engaged with extended reality, explore the realms of artificial intelligence, and utilize digital payments seamlessly. We want everyone here to share this with us, as this is where we can turn that imagined environment into reality. The Amber UTech Launchpad amplifies this vision, taking our students from the classroom and fully supporting their potential as startups towards success. And we at Sagicor applaud these efforts, the efforts of both Amber and of UTech. Give them a round of applause, please. So folks, as we embrace these groundbreaking initiatives, let's not forget the profound impact technology should have on our education at all levels. Modernizing our education system with technology is paramount to preparing our youth for the opportunities and challenges of the future. Let's continue to focus on creating a future illuminated by the brilliance of Jamaican innovation and modernized education at all levels, bolstered by initiatives such as this. Again, congrats. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Zaka. Let's play another round of Guess the Speaker. Here are your clues. He's a lawyer by profession, but you may know him for his outspoken positions on national issues as a past president of the PSOJ and former vice president of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association. Oh, we have some bright people in the room. You all know who it is. So, Mr. Mitchell, Howard Mitchell, maintained a successful commercial law practice for 35 years with concentrations in mining law and taxation before retiring, but he's also demonstrated, as you all know, a very strong commitment to public service for decades, serving on several public and private sector boards. In fact, as we speak, he is the director on 7 boards and chairman of 3 more. Where do you find the time? Where? Especially when you consider that he also loves fishing and traveling. He's been married for over 49 years, and he has 2 daughters and 2 grandsons. You're doing a lot, Mr. Mitchell. We appreciate you. Please welcome Mr. Howard Mitchell.
Good evening. I would like to ask you to allow me to say, in the interest of time, all protocols observed. Except, I want to recognize the presence of the Prime Minister because his commitment to education, to the training of our people is outstanding. And in that context, sir, I salute you. My invitation from President Brown encouraged me to share aspects of my experience as a business leader with you, and therefore, because of that, I'm compelled to depart from my usual outpouring of criticism for the political system and the political directorate, which considering which considering that two of relax. Two of my good friends are here from that sector, and I think it is a wise and prudent course of action for me to refer it. I am truly and deeply honored to be a part of this initiative, and I congratulate Ambassador Savagia, the Amber Group, and UTEC for taking a bold and absolutely necessary step to accelerate the development of our country with an acute focus on entrepreneurial education at this most vital level. Entrepreneurship is a system, a process of taking risks and of failing sometimes. And unfortunately, our fellow Jamaicans continue to see failure as fatal, and we stigmatize those who have the vision and the courage to take the risks. We perhaps too often view them as reckless or foolhardy or stupid, and do not recognize their boldness and their courage. As an entrepreneur myself, I've come to realize that, as Winston Churchill once said, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. And I am sincerely encouraged by this initiative, and as a member of the private sector that stands to benefit tremendously from the success of this venture, I want to pledge and put on record my personal support and my willingness to help in whatever way I can. We in the private sector, and you will like this especially, we in the private sector are often quite happy to sit back and put all the responsibility for national development on the shoulders of the government, and to say, often not quite truthfully, we pay our taxes, the government must do the job. My favorite topic nowadays is the shortage of labor, skilled and unskilled, and we complain that we cannot get people to work for us, that when we do get workers, they won't stay with us, and the productivity is low, and their work ethic is poor. Some of this is true, but we as leaders must ask why. When I was chairman of Mona School of Business and Management, I was horrified to hear that some 50% of our graduates migrated soon after graduation. As chairman of the Island Grill Group, I see the turnover rate in the food and restaurant sector and hear the lament of the inability to retain workers in all categories of employment. Problem has existed for a long time. And it's not to say that attempts have not been made to address it. The Jamaica Productivity Center has from 2003 been striving to deal with these issues. The Ministry of Labor and Social Security fully appreciates the challenges, and there are international agencies that have put a lot of money and time and resources to try and address this, but the decline continues. There's no question that we start at a disadvantage because of the openness of our small economy, because of our historically poor management of our socio-economic affairs, and because developed countries plunder our human capital at will. Similarly, we are all aware of the severe inadequacies of our education system and of the irrelevancies of much of our training opportunities. And we know that it takes time and resources to change things. The linked challenges of controlling costs and maintaining quality, relevance, and utility are overwhelming some universities and colleges globally. And universities are seeking to survive in various ways. UTEC must choose a path that fits Jamaica's policy directions and our growth model. And that choice has to be made now. And it has to be made now because for the first time in a long time, we have capable fiscal management. We have profitability is returning to much of our economy, and the state is moving to address the inadequacies of training in many of its educational institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, in those circumstances, is it not time for the private sector to increase its attention to on-the-job training? to providing more in its budget for training for its employees? Should this not be a priority item in our annual budgets to upskill our very own staff and to improve the working conditions of its human capital, to establish performance-based pay, to incentivize them to stay in our country and to raise our productivity? That, my friends, is what entrepreneurship and progress is about. That is how we retain our people here in Jamaica and empower them with the skills that are needed to persevere and grow personally and professionally. And this is an excellent opportunity, an example of what we are talking about, focusing on human capital and the creativity of our people. I often wonder how, in the midst of the complaints about high turnover rates of employees and low productivity, companies like Sandals, Knutsford Express, Sagicor, Caramed Group, Spur Tree Spices, JMMB, and Grace Kennedy manage to produce consistently good results and keep their people at work. How it is that the National Baking Company manages to maintain much lower percentages of employee turnover and much higher productivity than the national standard. They must be doing something different from the rest of us. I believe that it is because they have recognized the value of human capital, and that human capital is Jamaica's most significant and valuable resource. And I call names at the risk of making enemies, but omelets are not made with unbroken eggs. And I often hear how companies will go out of business if they spend more money on the working conditions of their employees. If it is that they depend on the exploitation of their human capital to be successful, then maybe an objective study would reveal that they shouldn't be in business. And while I'm on the topic of objective studies and standards of working conditions, another budget debate has been opened, another throne speech has been made, and I didn't hear a mention of parliamentary consideration of the 6-year-old Marshall Hall Labour Reform Commission report. Again, we must ask why. It is critical if a national effort is going to be made to improve productivity. The nation needs to understand the conditions and the circumstances of our labor laws and what is needed to improve the structure in which our people work. This must be discussed in the boardrooms, in the parliament, on TV, on the radio, in the street. We need our people to come together on the issue of whether or not we can improve productivity on our own and with our resources, and whether the structure that we operate under is efficient to do so. We suffer from a national avoidance syndrome, ladies and gentlemen, a cultural tendency to ignore the 600-pound gorilla in the room until it threatens to squash us, and then we go to another room. Speaking of 600-pound gorillas, and I promise you, this is the last controversial matter. I personally support the free movement of labor, and I have noted the call for the importation of skilled and unskilled workers into our island. And while I'm not opposed to the idea in principle, I caution that it should be based on careful study and should not disenfranchise either those of our workers in jobs and in need of skills, nor those of the approximately 700,000 of our citizens, or 50% of our potential workforce, who choose not to be in the workforce and to scam and hustle and engage in illegal or quasi-legal activity in order to live. This is not how we're going to get to Vision 2030. We get to Vision 2080, but not 2030. So, we need the kind of smart collaboration that has occurred here today in order to solve this problem. We need to come together. And I encourage the private sector and the state to to come, put aside the little petty ego things, and focus on the real issues of our country. Come together and put our resources together because we can do it. In closing, I want to once again congratulate UTEC, Ambassador Dushyant Savadia, and the Amber Group, and all who have contributed to this wonderful initiative. I wish for you Godspeed and every success. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for your patience and tolerance in listening to me. I hope that what I have said will be an occasion for dialogue and not diatribe. And I thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. He's so right, isn't he? Also, you agree with the controversy? Gotcha. But yes, entrepreneurs, who better to solve our nation's problems than entrepreneurs? Who better to employ thousands of Jamaicans than entrepreneurs? Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to point out who better than the philanthropist in the room as well, because Amber Group happens to be one of the most charitable companies in Jamaica. They're only 8 years old, yet last year alone, they spent $100 million to provide opportunities through internship. And not only that, in the past 3 years, they've spent $200 million for the Coding Academy and associated courses. So the Launchpad now becomes a one-of-its-kind facility that we've never seen in Jamaica before, funding everything all the way to the deployment of the business. So I want you to turn your attention now to the screen, and let's watch this video about the Amber UTEC Launchpad.
Imagine a place where innovation isn't just a buzzword, but a way of life. Welcome to the Amber Group, nestled in the vibrant Jamaica in the heart of the Caribbean. Here, we're not just participants in the technology revolution, we're leading it. At Amber Group, we believe technology has the unparalleled power to transform lives, drive societal progress, and reshape economies. We view startups as beacons of change, tackling long-standing challenges with fresh solutions, sparking job creation, and fueling economic vibrancy. They're not just businesses, they're the architects of tomorrow. The University of Technology Jamaica stands at the pinnacle of education and innovation, a titan in the realm of knowledge. UTEC Jamaica is more than an institution. It's a crucible of future leaders, entrepreneurs, and change makers, all dedicated to pushing the limits of what's possible. In this spirit of relentless innovation, the Amber UTEC Launchpad was conceived, a dynamic force igniting the potential of digital startups in Jamaica. More than an incubator, it's a commitment to growth, a source of inspiration for a new era of entrepreneurs ready to take the world by storm. The people of Jamaica are a reservoir of untapped potential, bursting with revolutionary ideas capable of transforming industries, uplifting communities, and significantly enhancing our nation's prosperity. The Amber UTEC Launchpad is here to dismantle the barriers that stand in their way, offering unmatched support and creating an environment where visionary minds can flourish. The Amber UTEC Launchpad revolutionizes entrepreneurship with comprehensive support that includes end-to-end product development for digital startups. Every IT product, regardless of scale, is crafted to perfection. We're here to bring your vision to life, from the drawing board to global markets, without you having to spend a dime. Founder protection. As investors, we help you to materialize your dream without giving up control in your business, regardless of our investment size. Your vision, your control, secured. Global marketing, sales, and administrative support. Tap into our global network spanning 100 countries with access to top-tier expertise in finance, marketing, legal, and sales. Your startup won't just launch, it'll soar. Training and mentorship. Navigate the entrepreneurial journey with confidence, guided by seasoned mentors and comprehensive training programs designed to elevate your business acumen. With the power of Amber UTech Launchpad behind them, Jamaican entrepreneurs will transform their dreams into reality. Building enterprises that will not only redefine our nation but make waves across the globe. Your future awaits. Join the Amber UTech Launchpad today at myambergroup.com and begin your journey to becoming the next global sensation. Let's innovate together.
I like how that ended. Let's innovate together. Where are the unicorns? You guys know any unicorns? We want to bring the unicorns into the Amber UTech Launchpad. So encourage them, encourage your friends and family, encourage your children, encourage anybody you know who has an interest to go to myambergroup.com and apply to be a part of the first cohort. So if all of this isn't exciting, I don't know what is, but without a doubt, government support is always critical to private sector development. It's very difficult to grow in a vacuum, right? So who better to talk about that than Senator Aubin Hill, our Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce.
How wonderful to be back in an auditorium, the theater of learning that UTech is so prominent for. The Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister, Ambassador Dushyant Savadia, founder and CEO of Amber Group and Ambassador and Special Investment Envoy for Technology, appointed by our Prime Minister. Mr. Kevin Brown from Rolls-Royce and other places. Nice to have a smart, young, really outstanding engineer to run UTech that can put in a lot of long years to make this the institution that it can and must become and is becoming. Mr. Christopher Zaka walks around with the money bags. President and CEO of Sagicor Group. And of course, Mr. Howard Mitchell. Know him long time, from a long time, and him always controversial. And I said, oh, you weren't going to be controversial. No, I didn't say that. I just said I wouldn't attack you. All the people of Amber Group, members of the UTech, Jamaica's council and the members of faculty and staff of the university, members of the business community, media practitioners, and of course, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm just coming from Parliament. Had to be before the Finance Committee of Parliament to explain what we're going to do in our budgets. Get a lot of questions, and some of them were these. What do you think of AI and the threats? Member of Parliament asking me. Said AI, when Microsoft took it public, I remember it was November or whenever it was, or a year before, I saw it as I saw mobile telephony. Before, let's say 2003, 2004, maybe 5, people in Jamaica, India, Sri Lanka, had to wait 5 years to get a landline, if you get one. And mobile telephony, for which one of the first loans I gave at NCB when I came home, Sandra will remember, she was on the board then and on the board now still, was a $27 million loan to Digicel to launch Digicel's business in Jamaica. And soon after that, a very popular politician who I really liked, now deceased, could say, we don't have to wait 5 years. I can say now, hello, hello, I have 2 phones. I can call myself. So I don't deny that there might be a threat, and there is a threat from AI. But we in Jamaica, and I'm so glad Amber Group is onto this, must see the opportunities. You can always see the threats, and then you never venture out. Oh, I can't speak, and so I can't fly, and I'm not going to die. No, I'm not going to die. I'm going to start an empire, and look where he comes to start it, in Jamaica. We're so happy to have you. Ambassador Deshant, we're happy to have you here. So when they asked me about it, I said, no, I'm looking at the opportunities. Why the opportunities? I just told you, you just asked me about the fact that, or the same member, asked me about the fact that we have 4.2% unemployment, very low, historically low. What we're going to do about looking after the BPO and the knowledge industry? I said, very simple. We have a small country. It's not contiguous to other countries. And so, unlike Europeans, we can't invade anybody. So we have to go and negotiate new markets overseas. How are we going to serve them? The BPO business, the knowledge business in Jamaica, is over $1 billion, US dollars. How are we going to serve them? We're going to have to upskill the Jamaicans we have. Howard talks about 700,000 not in the employment business in Jamaica. Some are elderly, some are too young, some are studying, some might choose not to work. Some can work, and they need to be upskilled, and HEART is doing that. But Amber has picked out a select group of that number and said, we are going to spend our money. We're going to infuse our technology into your brain. We're going to make you businessmen. We're going to make you businesswomen. We're going to make you successful. And yes, some of you might not make it at first, but at first you don't succeed. Try and try again. Remember, my granny used to tell me that. It's still true. So he brings this up, and he looks at the opportunities. And we have low unemployment, so we must upskill. Boy, am I happy Amber is here at this time. Just when we hit historical low unemployment. So then we are going to have to upskill and step up and make sure we sell new and different products to the world through our brain power. Because, as we say, we can't expand the land. But government, as Kalila said, must provide the space. We provide the playing field. We want to make it as level as possible, as even as possible. And we use the tax dollars that we get to help other people, to help people in business. The agencies, I have 20 agencies in my ministry. JAMPRO, JBDC, BSJ, that's Bureau of Standards, the Company Office of Jamaica, all of them there, and a whole set of others, JIPO, to help ordinary Jamaicans run their business. We take them out of their offices on road shows across Jamaica because many ordinary people, MSMEs, won't come into the bank. I know that from when I ran NCB. They won't come into the agencies, so we take the agencies to them, circle around a big auditorium in hotels, and we talk to them. So when Deshant is doing his thing and doing his launch pad and they launch, they're going to want money. The DBJ is there under the Prime Minister's ministry. Biggie is there to help you, and they can help you. The Exim Bank is there in my ministry is there to help you. JBDC is now getting $100 million this year, Jamaican, from the European Union to help businesses. We're finding ways to help you. And above all, in 2015, when it was said the junior stock exchange must be changed because of an agreement we were going to sign, we said no, not going to change. Audley Shaw almost went ballistic. He was the shadow minister of finance at the time. 2016, just before the election, then leader of the opposition, now prime minister, went to the stock exchange and said, we are going to keep it and we're going to strengthen it. The first thing Audley did, I was his senior advisor at the time, was to make sure we strengthen the junior stock exchange. So your launchpad people can get money. That is not, they don't have to pay it back every month in a loan, but equity that rich people like Howard and Chris can put in. And they wait till the company become, you think is your loan can attack? You remember we were in the same board together where we gave money. So they get the money to go and build their business, not as a loan. And Chris has to make loans. I make my living for all my years out of lending money. Loans are important, but equity is vital. So the government of Jamaica, the Andrew Holness administration, pumped money back in the junior stock exchange, kept it alive, and today billions of dollars have been given to ordinary Jamaicans. One guy, Ricardo Allen, I take him with me on my business missions. Traveler, you know him. I see you smiling. Ricardo has one-on-one business.